Hello, I'm Melissa from Simply Vintage, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a lovely baby mobile. So we start off with one of our wreath rings. Now this is an 8-inch wreath ring. Obviously they can be used for wreaths, but this is how we're going to use it for one of our mobiles. And to start off, we're going to get some beautiful fabrics and tear them into strips. Now you can obviously use lots of laces and linens, anything that you have at home, things like shirting, old duvet covers, anything that you have that's fabric, and you can just tear them into strips. This is actually an old pillowcase, and you just tear, and it gives a gorgeous edge. You can just see there. So you don't need to do any kind of trimming or hemming the pieces. They give a lovely rustic edge. We've got some broderie anglais, we've got lots of different pieces of lace. Cotton laces, nylon laces are all fabulous because you can pull and stretch and it gives them a lovely texture. And then we've got pieces of ribbon as well. But one of the bigger bits that are inside our mobile are some lovely bits of organza. And this is great because it is quite cheap. You can pick it up quite readily at any fabric shop and it tears beautifully. Again, you can just cut it at one of the selve edges and then just tear down, and it gives that lovely rough edge. So this is quite reasonably priced, so you can use a lot of it just to fill in the gaps rather than the expensive ribbons. So we'll start off, we're going to section each piece in the fours. So we're going to measure how long you want it to be. I like about 30 centimetres per drop. So on this we've obviously got 60 centimetres. Fold it in half so that you have a loop at one end. Now to tie it on, you're going to put the looped end underneath the ring, and then you just pass the two loose ends through the loop and pull. And you're going to do that all the way around, obviously 4 times, and start building up inside and out. You then can add in your pieces of ribbon, and again you're looking roughly 30 centimetres. You can trim at the end if you've got too many pieces. If it's too long or you want different lengths, just go through and trim at the end. So that's the first way of tying. As you can see, it's almost like a dream catcher that you're tying on there. So as you lift it up, they will actually drape. You're going to carry on doing that all the way around with all your pieces of lace and fabric. When you get to the cottons, you don't have to tie on. To give them a more full effect, you can actually glue on the cotton. You can stitch, but gluing is quick and easy. So all you can do is put a bit of any kind of glue. Acrylic glue is absolutely fine, and just place it over the top and seal. Give that a couple of seconds just to stick, and again that will drape down. To do the handle at the top, you're going to take 4 pieces. I've used organza ribbon, but you can use lace, you can use fabric, ribbons, anything. And we're just going to measure that out. And again, all you're going to do on here is tie in the middle of each of these sections on the inside piece, tie your organza. It's just a normal knot, and you do that 4 times. All the way around. Now the key on this section is just balancing up the actual mobile. So once you've tied on your 4 pieces, you gather up each of the ends, and as you lift it up, just check that it's sitting level. And then once it's level, there we go, you just tie off in a knot. And there we go, we have it hanging nice and level. So you're going to carry on all the way around with your fabric and your laces until you get to the stage where you have them all around. And this is the stage where you're going to start cutting, just trimming the ends so that you don't necessarily have straight ends. With the lovely linens, you can pull the ends and they'll actually make a lovely finish. With the ribbons, again, trimming or cutting at angles. So we are going to move on to our little detail. I'll move that out of the way. Taking our wooden heart, this is the plywood heart, and some vintage paper, we're going to, using some acrylic glue, just going to place that over the top and press down. Now to get a nice neat edge, you can actually just push all the way around on the fabric. And then just start to tear around. I prefer a torn edge round, because as we put on the different colours, you can start to see that on the edges of the actual paper. So don't worry if some of the wood shows through. That's exactly what we're wanting on this. There we go. So there's our heart. Then we're going to move on to our lovely little sentiments. Now this is actually from an old pattern book, and we're going to just cut around one of the little baby figures in there. You can use a pattern book, or you can get images online that are free to use. You can also, if you have old patterns sitting around, or pop down to the charity shop, you can sometimes be lucky enough to get some lovely old vintage patterns, and using the front covers of those reuses it into another lovely project. So cut that through. We have our little baby, and I just think the colours are fabulous. We don't need to do anything from that. And then this is just a printout of a fab song, and it's called Baby Mine, and I just think the sentiments are amazing for this project. You can use the wording for others. I'm just going to use the title Baby Mine, and again I'm tearing rather than cutting to give a lovely edge. And there we go. And we're just going to gently manipulate the paper, and there are our 3 little pieces. And just to finish off, we will need a button. So with some gilding polish, we're going to go in, and I'm just sticking to a neutral colour scheme for this one. I'm going to use the gilding polish and just go over the paper in various places, go thicker and thinner, and that just gives it a nice texture. There we go. And the same on the edge of the sentiment. Just going to go along with a bit of the polish or wax, or you can use mica powder and pearls, just something to give it a little bit of a sparkle. There we go. So with the edge of our little cutout, we're going to just go around with a pen. And this is just a normal fine line pen, and just go around the edge really gently. That just defines the image. There we go. And then it's just about popping everything together. So we'll use a little bit of glue on the back of the image. And this is a lovely quick drying glue. So that's going to dry clear as well. And then with the baby mine, we're going to just manipulate the paper a little bit. And that's going to go along like a little flag. There we go. Just a tiny bit on the end. And then finally a little vintage button. There we go. So there is our lovely little plaque to go onto the top. And on the strips we've added some little details. So we've put some buttons on there. We've also popped a couple of wooden hearts as well. And they are just little things inside the mobile that you'll see as you go, as it hangs and swings around in the room. So you could also put little sentiments on there, and we've got some vintage fabric pieces as well. All that can be added on, stitched or glued onto the actual finished piece. And so this is the finished piece, and thank you ever so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.